Have you ever noticed that the things that hurt us the most are Have you ever noticed that the things that hurt us the most are not the things that happen to us, but the things we keep thinking about long after they're over? Someone said something hurtful weeks ago, and we are still replaying it. A mistake happened months back, and we are still punishing ourselves. The moment passed, the person moved on, the world kept turning, but we're still standing at that same spot, carrying a weight that no longer exists anywhere except inside our own mind. Today's story is an ancient Zen tale about two monks and a single moment at a river crossing. A moment that lasted only a few seconds for one, but became an endless journey of suffering for the other. This story holds a mirror to how we live our lives every single day. So stay with me until the end, because the lesson hidden in this simple tale might just free you from a burden you didn't even know. In the green hills of Japan, where temple bells echoed through cedar forests and morning mist clung to stone pathways, two Zen monks set out on a long journey between monasteries. The first was Tanzan, a broad-shouldered monk with calm eyes and an unhurried stride. He was known among his fellow monks not for how strictly he followed rules, but for how deeply he understood their spirit. He spoke little, laughed easily, and moved through the world as though every step was exactly where he was meant to be. The second was Ekido, younger, sharper, and more careful in everything he did. Ekido kept his robes perfectly folded, his prayers perfectly timed, and his conduct perfectly within the boundaries of every monastic rule he had ever learned. He believed that discipline meant control, and that control meant never bending, never breaking, never straying, not even by a single step. Together, they walked for hours along a narrow country road that wound through rice paddies and bamboo groves. The sky had been dark since morning, and by midday, heavy rain began to fall. The road turned to thick, sticky mud. Their straw sandals sank with every step, and the hem of their robes grew heavy with wet earth. As they came around a bend near a swollen river crossing, they saw a young, beautiful woman standing at the edge of the water. She wore a fine silk kimono, pale blue with white blossoms, and she was clutching it tightly, looking at the rushing muddy water with wide, helpless eyes. The current was strong, the crossing deep, and it was clear she had no way to get to the other side without ruining her clothes, or worse, being swept away. Ekido glanced at her and immediately looked away. He walked straight past without a word. After all, monks were not permitted to touch women. That was the rule. And rules, to Ekido, were sacred walls that must never be crossed. But Tanzan stopped. Without a word, without hesitation, and without the slightest sign of inner conflict, he walked up to the woman, smiled gently, and said, "Come, I will carry you across." Before she could fully respond, he lifted her carefully in his strong arms, stepped into the muddy water, and carried her to the other side. He placed her down softly on dry ground, gave a small nod, and turned back to the road. The woman called out her thanks, but Tanzan had already moved on. His stride was the same as before, steady, calm, unbothered, as though nothing unusual had happened at all. Ekido, however, was frozen in shock. His mouth hung open, his brows pulled tight. He could not believe what he had just witnessed. A monk, a then monk, had picked up a woman, a beautiful young woman, and carried her in his arms. He rejoined Tanzan on the road, but he could not bring himself to speak. His mind churned like the muddy river behind them. How could Tanzan do that? Did he not know the rules? Did he not care about his vows? What kind of monk behaves this way? 1 hour passed in silence, then 2, then 3. The rain stopped, the sky cleared, birds returned to the branches. But inside Ekido's mind, there was no clearing. The storm only grew louder. By the time the sun began to set and the two monks approached the lodging temple where they would spend the night, Ekido could no longer contain himself. "How could you do that?" he burst out, his voice tight with frustration. "We are monks. We have taken vows. We are not supposed to go near women, especially not young and beautiful ones. It is dangerous. It is forbidden. How could you carry her like that?" Tanzan stopped walking. He turned slowly, looked at Ekido with kind, untroubled eyes, and said quietly, "Brother, I set the woman down at the river hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" Ekido stood still. The words hit him like a bell struck in silence. He opened his mouth, but no reply came. because in that moment he understood. Tanzan had carried the woman for a few brief seconds across a stretch of muddy water, and then he had put her down completely, in body and in mind. He had helped where help was needed, and then he had let go. But Ekido, the one who never touched her, never spoke to her, never even looked at her, had been carrying her in his mind for hours. He had carried her in his judgment, in his outrage, in his rigid attachment to the letter of the law. He had replayed the scene 100 times, weighed it, condemned it, and suffered for it, all while Tanzan walked in peace beside him. The woman had long since gone her way. The river was far behind them, but Ekido had never left that crossing. He had been standing at the river bank in his thoughts the entire journey. This ancient Zen story carries a truth that most of us live with every single day, but rarely recognize. The heaviest burdens we carry are not physical. They are the thoughts, judgments, and resentments we refuse to let go of. Think about it. How many times have we been like Ekido? Someone hurts us once, but we replay that moment 100 times. A mistake happens in a single second, but we punish ourselves for months. An argument lasts 5 minutes, but the anger lasts 5 years. The event ended long ago, but our mind never left that spot. Tanzan teaches us something beautiful. Do what is right and compassionate in the moment, then let it go. He didn't overthink. He didn't worry about how it looked. He saw someone who needed help. He helped, and he moved on. His hands were empty. His mind was free. But Ekido, the one who followed every rule perfectly, the one who never even touched the woman, he was the one truly trapped. Not by the world outside, but by the world inside his own head. His judgment became heavier than the woman Tanzan carried. His outrage weighed more than the mud on their robes. And this is where the story becomes personal. Because we all carry rivers we crossed long ago. We carry old arguments with people who have already forgotten them. We carry guilt over mistakes that life has already forgiven. We carry resentment toward people who have moved on with their lives, while we stand still, replaying the same scene over and over again. Tanzan's quiet wisdom at the river teaches us 4 things we can all practice starting today. First, Tanzan teaches us to choose compassion over empty rigidity. He did not hide behind rules when a fellow human being stood helpless at the water's edge. He responded to the moment with wisdom and kindness. Tanzan showed us that true spiritual maturity is not about following every rule perfectly on the outside. It is about doing what is right and humane when it truly matters. Second, Tanzan teaches us the art of letting go. He carried the woman for only a few seconds, set her down on dry ground, and walked on without a second thought. He did not replay the moment. He did not question himself. He did not worry about how it looked. Tanzan showed us that when you act with a clean heart, there is nothing left to carry. Third, Tanzan teaches us not to become a prisoner of our own judgment. While Ekido twisted a simple act of kindness into something scandalous inside his own mind, Tanzan never judged, never explained, never defended. He simply lived the moment and moved on. Tanzan showed us that judgment distorts reality and locks us inside a version of events that exists nowhere but in our own heads. Fourth, Tanzan teaches us that inner purity matters far more than outward appearance. His robes were muddy, his arms had carried a stranger, and his conduct broke every letter of the monastic code. Yet his mind was the clearest, his heart the lightest, and his spirit the freest. Tanzan showed us that real discipline is not just about what you show the world. It is about what you carry within. And the truest form of discipline is the freedom to let go of what no longer serves you. Tanzan's hands were empty. His mind was clear. He had nothing to prove and nothing to carry. But Ekido, the one who never broke a single rule, was the one weighed down, not by the world outside, but by the storm inside his own heart. Think about your own life for a moment. How many old arguments are you still carrying with people who have already forgotten them? How many past mistakes are you still punishing yourself for, even though life has already moved on? How many times have you replayed a painful moment over and over again, while the other person sleeps peacefully, completely unaware of your suffering? The lesson is simple but powerful. Do what is right with a clean heart. Help where help is needed, and then let it go. Do not carry yesterday's rain into today's sunshine. Do not let one moment at a river define the rest of your journey. Because the heaviest burdens are never the ones on your back. They are the ones in your mind. So the next time you catch yourself dwelling on an old hurt, a past failure, or someone else's wrongdoing, pause and ask yourself Tanzan's question. I set this down long ago. Why am I still carrying it? Let go. Not because what happened doesn't matter, but because holding on to it hurts only you. The river has passed. The road ahead is yours. Walk it with empty hands and a quiet mind. Now tell me honestly in the comments, what is the one thing from your past that you know you need to put down? If this story touched your heart, please like and share the video so it can reach someone who might be carrying a burden they don't need to. And subscribe to our channel.
The Man Who Carried a Stone, a powerful story about the weight of regret. Have you ever carried something so heavy that it changed the way you walked? Not a suitcase, not a backpack, not a burden anyone else could see. Something invisible, a regret, a mistake, a memory. Something that happened years ago, yet still follows you wherever you go. Perhaps it was one wrong decision, one moment of anger, one opportunity you let slip away. The strange thing about regret is that time keeps moving, but part of us stays behind. The world continues, seasons change, people move on. But deep inside, we remain standing in the ruins of a moment that no longer exists. Today's story is about a man who spent half his life carrying a stone, not because he had to, not because anyone forced him to, but because he believed he deserved to. And what he discovered at the end of his journey may change the way you think about your own past forever. So, stay with me until the end. Because somewhere in this story, you may find a burden you've been carrying without realizing it. Long ago, in a valley surrounded by mountains, there was a small village known for its stone quarries. Every day, workers cut enormous blocks of rock from the mountainside and carried them into town. The villagers believed that stone represented strength. Their homes were built from stone. Their roads were paved with stone. Their temples were carved from stone. Among these villagers lived a young man named Aaron. Aaron was hardworking, kind, and ambitious. He dreamed of becoming a master builder one day. People trusted him, they respected him, and his future seemed bright. But one summer afternoon, everything changed. Aaron and his younger brother Nico were helping transport materials up a steep mountain path. The journey was difficult. The trail was narrow. One side was a rocky wall. The other dropped into a deep ravine. As they climbed, Nico stumbled. The heavy cart they were pushing began sliding backward. Panic filled the air. Aaron had only seconds to react. Instead of grabbing his brother's arm, he jumped aside to save himself. The cart crashed down the slope, and Nico fell with it. When the villagers found them, Aaron was alive. His brother was not. No one blamed him. Everyone said the same thing. It was an accident. You couldn't have stopped it. You did what anyone would do. But Aaron could not forgive himself. Every night he replayed the moment, again and again and again. What if he had reached farther? What if he had moved faster? What if he had chosen differently? Months passed, then years. Yet the questions never stopped. One morning, consumed by guilt, Aaron climbed to the mountain where the accident had happened. There, among broken rocks and wild grass, he found a stone. It wasn't especially large, but it was heavy, very heavy. He lifted it onto his shoulder and made a vow. As long as I carry this stone, I will never forget what I did. From that day forward, he carried it everywhere. When he worked, when he traveled, when he rested, the stone remained with him. People thought it was strange. Some laughed, others pitied him. But Aaron refused to put it down. Years passed. The stone dug into his shoulder. His movements slowed. Yet he believed the pain was necessary. Whenever someone suggested he let it go, he would answer, "If I stop suffering, it means I've forgotten my brother." So he carried it, and carried it, and carried it, until carrying the stone became his identity. One autumn evening, an old traveler arrived in the village. He wore simple clothes and carried nothing but a walking stick. The villagers welcomed him warmly. As he walked through town, he noticed Aaron struggling beneath his stone. The traveler watched silently. Then he asked, "Why do you carry that?" Aaron told him everything. The accident, the guilt, the years of punishment. When he finished, the traveler nodded thoughtfully. Then he asked, "And has the stone brought your brother back?" "No." "Has it changed the past?" "No." "Has it made you a better brother?" Aaron hesitated. "I don't know." The traveler smiled gently. "Then perhaps you are carrying the wrong thing." Aaron frowned. "You don't understand." "No," said the traveler. "I think I do." Then he pointed toward the mountains. "Walk with me tomorrow." At sunrise, they began climbing. Hour after hour, they followed winding trails. Aaron struggled beneath his stone. The traveler moved effortlessly. Near midday, they reached a high plateau. In the center stood an ancient tree. Its branches stretched toward the sky. Its roots gripped the earth like giant hands. The traveler sat beneath it. Then he asked Aaron to place the stone on the ground. Reluctantly, Aaron agreed. For the first time in years, his shoulder felt empty. The sensation frightened him. The traveler pointed at the tree. "What do you see?" "A tree." "What else?" "Its branches, its roots." The traveler nodded. "Do you know why this tree survived hundreds of storms?" Aaron shook his head. "Because it knows what to keep and what to release." The traveler picked up a dead leaf. This leaf once helped the tree grow. He let it fall. But if the tree refused to release it, new leaves would never come. The old man looked directly into Aaron's eyes. "Your regret served a purpose. It taught you. It humbled you. It made you compassionate. But now you cling to it long after the lesson is learned." Aaron stared at the ground. The words unsettled him, because deep down, he knew they were true. The traveler then handed him a small mirror. "Look." Aaron looked. He barely recognized himself. His shoulders were crooked. His face looked older than his years. His eyes carried exhaustion. "Tell me," said the traveler, "if your brother stood beside you right now, what would he want?" Aaron immediately answered, "He would want me to be happy." "Then why are you refusing his gift?" The question struck like lightning, because for years Aaron had believed his suffering honored his brother. Yet suddenly he saw another possibility. Maybe it didn't. Maybe his brother would never have wanted this life for him. Maybe the punishment existed only inside his own mind. Tears filled his eyes, the first tears he had allowed himself in years. The traveler stood. "Come." They walked to the edge of the plateau. Far below, a river sparkled in the sunlight. The traveler pointed at the stone. You have two choices. You may continue carrying it, or you may leave it here. Aaron looked at the stone. For years it had been part of him. Without it, who would he be? What would remain? The fear was overwhelming. Many people think letting go feels like freedom. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it feels like losing a piece of yourself. Even if that piece is pain, especially if that piece is pain. Minutes passed, then an hour. The wind moved through the grass. Clouds drifted across the sky. Finally, Aaron stepped toward the stone. He placed both hands on it and whispered, "I remember." Not the accident, not the guilt, not the fall. He remembered his brother's laugh, his kindness, his dreams, the things guilt had buried beneath years of suffering. Then he smiled through tears and stepped away, leaving the stone where it was. The journey back to the village felt strange. Aaron kept reaching toward his shoulder, expecting weight, expecting pain, expecting the familiar burden, but there was nothing there. For the first time in years, he walked upright. The road hadn't changed, the world hadn't changed, the past hadn't changed. Only one thing had changed, what he chose to carry. Months passed, then years. Aaron became the master builder he had always dreamed of becoming. He built bridges, homes, gardens, places where people gathered and laughed. Whenever young workers made mistakes, he never judged them harshly, because he understood something most people never learn. A mistake is meant to teach you, not define you. One day a child asked him, "Is it true you once carried a giant stone everywhere?" Aaron smiled. "Yes." "Why?" "Because I thought pain was the same thing as love." The child tilted his head. "And was it?" Aaron looked toward the distant mountains. "No," he said softly. "Love remembers. Pain repeats. One helps you grow. The other keeps you stuck." And perhaps that is the lesson for all of us. Many of us are carrying stones, a failure, a heartbreak, a betrayal, a decision we wish we could undo. We tell ourselves we must keep carrying them because letting go feels wrong, because suffering feels like responsibility, because pain feels like proof that we care. But there comes a time when the lesson has been learned, the debt has been paid, the season has ended, and all that remains is the burden itself. The past cannot be changed, but your relationship with it can. You can honor a memory without becoming imprisoned by it. You can learn from a mistake without living inside it forever. You can remember without carrying. Just as Aaron discovered on the mountain, freedom does not come from forgetting. Freedom comes from finally understanding that you no longer need to punish yourself for what cannot be undone. So ask yourself, what stone are you carrying today? And more importantly, what would happen if you finally set it down? Because life is waiting. The road ahead is waiting. And some burdens were never meant to be carried forever.